Number three, keep it concise. You hear a lot of explosive words and language and creative, flow when you're reading off these types of descriptions. But despite all that hard work and the clever content, where it's allowed to flourish, the sad reality is that most people are going to skim it online these days, right? The very few are going to take the time and energy to read everything you did word for word the first time. However, even for a relatively short property description, you want to make sure to hit those key selling points on your listing early on and avoid overly lengthy, wordy descriptions. So take that storytelling and make absolutely sure you're giving them the facts, the features, and the functions of the home inclusive to your paragraph. Which brings me to step number 4. Your storytelling still also has to be honest, and it has to be relatable. And in the world of Southern Florida, where Disney is Disney, it's important for you to be able to keep things so that you're not overselling or exaggerating. And trust me, buyers hate it when they show up to your house expecting this dream home only to find something completely different. Don't be the catfish writer. Instead of stretching the truth, highlight the property's better features authentically. If some of the parts of the house need a little real rework and update, position it as an opportunity, telling them to bring your vision to life in this space. Some TLC will bring the magic back to this home. There's endless potential in customizations in this room and in this house. Again, plenty of real world descriptions out there, but I can give you another great example that I found. Now's the time to relax and enjoy sun, swim, and boating at your very own oceanfront property. Don't let the septic tank functionality and feature set that's currently used for the home, as well as used for the gardening, drive you away. Don't miss all of the things this home, in perfect as is condition, can bring to you. And believe me, they're going to notice that there's a giant septic tank hump if that's what you've got to deal with in your backyard, because it depending on the serenity of the property, depending on the privacy of the property, you may not have city water running to it. Everybody decided they wanted something that was their own and their own personality. So depending on when the house was built, you just want to make sure that you include it so that you're honest. Number 5, optimize for mobile without losing personality. Nowadays, most buyers scroll through a listing on their phone, right? So big blocks of text is a big no-no. Listing descriptions need to be easy to read. Break paragraphs. Keep sentences short. Maintain that natural flow so it's easy to skim through. And check it out after you post it and make sure it's visually appealing on all of the Realtor.com and the Zillow apps and the Trulia apps that are out there. If it doesn't look good everywhere, it doesn't look good anywhere. Which brings me to step 6. Proofread, proofread, proofread. And here's for my techies out there. I know you're using AI. I love that you're using AI. Please grasp this technology. I do not expect you guys to all be English literary majors out of college that are doing real estate for a living now. You need to be able to validate your feelings of what the AI is producing for you, and then audit, edit, proofread, and produce. What is the story that you're trying to tell? One of the trickiest parts about writing anything is getting out of your own head. It's simply too easy to fall in love with your own writing and miss the errors. Typos, incorrect grammar, and awkward phrasing can make the most luxurious listing look very unprofessional, and you're going to lose the immediate trust of the buyer. And worse, if it's a high-end buyer that's spending a lot of money and that has a high level of education, for example, you're going to turn them off on the property immediately if you don't have the verbal acuity and the quiver of weaponry in your language that they're going to be attracted to when they're reading something as simple as a descriptive paragraph. Once you write your listing description, read it out loud like you're presenting it to the high school drama group. Make sure that it identifies the areas that you want to improve or that you want to heighten in the description. Also, having a second set of eyes to go over listings would certainly ensure that your final version is polished and error-free. If you have an administrative assistant or a coordinator in your offices, or better, a broker that's got a lot of listing experience, let them read it before you hit active in the MLS, before you publish it on all of the listing sites that are out there, because it's really difficult to go back to 200 plus sites and have to find errors that they don't necessarily update or delta load from you changing it all in the MLS. So try to get it right the first time. So why is a listing description and listing marketing even essential? A compelling real estate listing description is a strategic tool. It's going to turn what is a basic traditional listing, like everything else that's on the market, into a must-see property. It's got to turn a buyer's interest into action. Your property listings have to use descriptions that activate the end client. Clever listing descriptions add some depth to just photos. Same thing that got you attractive to your partner or attractive to someone that you went out on a date with was the enticement of, wow, I really love the look and the sense of them that I'm seeing in this photo. I want to learn more. That I kind of wish everybody I ever met came with an opening paragraph, because it would decide on how long I wanted to have a conversation with them after that. But while those professional looking photos might grab your attention, strong wording will help the buyers visualize themselves in living in a property. Use the right words. Use phrases that offer details to the property that the photos just don't capture. Listing descriptions can drive a sense of urgency as well. Your description needs to have that call of action that makes the buyer feel like they need to act fast. By including a phrase like highly coveted, ultra rare property, motivated seller, things like this urges a buyer to move quickly before someone else snatches it up. This property won't last long. Get your private tour today are the kind of things that are going to urge a buyer to move quick. Get up out of the chair and schedule that appointment. And when you're doing your marketing online, somewhere in there needs to be a quick button to schedule a showing with you as the agent. And agents, I'm going to say something you're not going to like. Listing agents sell properties. Buyer's agents, you would be really smart to ask them to either accompany you or at minimum coach you on what are the highlights and the features of the home and how you can be cooperative in selling the seller's story to them to help them buy a property. Buyer's agents, lose the bullshit. You need help. You are not a Zillow agent. You cannot just show up with your buyer to 15 properties and expect to be a successful real estate agent. You will not. So make sure to use the artisanship, the craft that has been developed behind a listing agent to help you sell the property. Trust me, 2 agents are better than 1, and you're both getting commissioned. So make absolutely sure that you're cooperating with each other. Not to mention, the relationship that it will build when it comes time to negotiating is going to be a hell of a lot better than if you're in an argumentative or left versus right wing of a conversation. We got a couple of questions out there, and I want to make sure to hit them and get you some good, concise answers. How do I make my real estate listing stand out above others? So you've heard me talk about high quality photos. That's a big one. But when it comes to marketing, A virtual property tour is great, so they could step through the home, but a video virtual tour is everything. And you can list it inside the property description. You can say, contact listing agent for a full video tour of the property. And it should be you. If your headshot's not in there, or if some kind of advertising's not in there, it should at minimum be a video walkthrough of you telling your sales story of this property from the front door to the backyard. And it should include everything. You should talk about smells. You should talk about great lighting. You should do this during a sunshiny day. And you should publicize that you can help with your quality manufacturing tour. How do you write a luxury home description? Good question. I have a lot of people that truly struggle with this, right? When you're browsing luxury property descriptions or any descriptions, for example, you're going to find a whole lot of words that invoke elegance, exclusivity, and give them a feel of luxury. Luxury home buyers, by the way, must be able to picture themselves living there. So words like bespoke, opulent, custom, private, retreat, lavish, grand. These are all words that they understand will bring them to the buyer's table. And when you're doing these walkthroughs, you'll want to make absolutely sure that you're being honest about the surroundings and the noises that they may hear in the background. What's the example of a lot and block description? Oh, okay. Different class. That's for another time. Those are the kind of questions that you want to do whenever we're doing a public property descriptions class and what they use in the taxable audience that's out there. So we'll touch on that one for another time. But good question. Bringing it all together for you. Hey, make sure that when you're picking things up, when you're picking these listings, when you're finding these, go out there and take a look at what everybody else is doing in the community. Because remember, your competition is what helps your property sell fastest. I'm going to say that again. Your competition, the other active listings out there, are what's going to help your property sell faster. So your paragraph's got to be better than theirs, inclusive of everything they have plus more, using better linguistics than they did. So go out there when you're pulling all of the active listings, and more importantly, pull the ones that have sold, read all of their selling paragraphs, and take some quick notes on the things that you thought were very attractive whenever that you read it. Because if you read it in 4 or 5 different places, imagine if you can get it all nice and concise into yours. Remember, the best examples of home descriptions are always going to be honest and straightforward and vividly describe the potential homeowner's lifestyle after they purchase the property. You need to get into the head of the client. You need to get into the mindset of the buyer when you're writing these things. That's what's going to get them attracted to coming in and making an appointment with you. Got any questions about furthering property descriptions or marketing or tricks that you'd like to share with other agents? You've got the comment section below. Please take advantage of it. I know I have a great time reading them, and you will get response from me.